Jukebox. All right, it's your boy. It's your host, Bigger Fish. You know, you gotta pay for DLC, but time isn't free. So thanks for spending yours with me. I got somebody new on the channel today. Say what's up to Matt Casual, man. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, big fish? How you doing? We keeping it casual over here, you feel me?
Yes, sir. So the first thing I wanted to do, because we're talking about Tekken today. So the first thing I want to ask, just get like a perspective on where your ideas are coming from. What was your first Tekken game?
Tekken has been a long-standing series for me, man. I mean, I've been here since Tekken 3, all the way back on the PS1 edition.
Damn. Okay.
It's been how long has this journey been? When was Tekken 3? Tekken 3 was like 96. So pretty much my whole lifetime, I think. Say about 30 years with this series.
Okay, so my first Tekken game was technically Tekken 6. My friend would bring it
6.
over sometimes to my other friend's house after high school, and we would just, run a few games. But the first game I actually owned of Tekken was Tekken 7, and honestly, that was like 2022. So I'm actually kind of newer to the franchise. I was never like a 3D fighter person.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about with 7? How'd 7 treat you?
So in 7, I was a Gigas main,
Oh, okay, nice.
and I got fucking cooked in 7 all the time. There's literally like it's a fond memory now, but there's literally a memory I have where I was playing with two of my friends, and they were teaching me Tekken. I was still very new. I didn't even really know how to do combos. My combos was like launcher into grab. So they literally like just spent time like they were just passing me around, man. I would fight one and lose instantly, and then they would fight each other, and whoever lost would fight me. I'd lose instantly, and it was like I was like the practice dummy for the other person, and I was like, that was the moment I was like, you know what, better cook y'all. Just give me some time.
Facts.
Just give me some time. I'm gonna cook y'all.
Yeah,
But
everyone has an origin story for sure. I'm a Yoshi main myself. Been playing him since the very beginning. For me with Yoshi, what it was my pops introduced me to Tekken. You know, the classic.
mm-hmm.
And we used to bond over the martial arts movies. You know, the old Jet Li, Jackie Chan stuff, and all that. And so
The one
with
touch
this
shit.
Exactly. And with this game's origins being rooted in like realistic martial arts combat, he brought it to my attention and I loved it. But I was also a kid and a Star Wars fan. And so when I saw Yoshimitsu had a lightsaber in 3, he had a green lightsaber. And
Shit
so
was
when I
dope.
saw that, I was like, "Oh no, that's my guy." And my pops, he was like, "Man, you cheating? You picking the guy with the sword." And that made it even better. So since then, I just kind of played with him. Um, but Tekken's come a long way, man. Tekken's definitely not the same as it used to be, but in a good way. In well, in some ways.
Do you remember your mains in each game, or has it been just like you mostly Yoshi the whole way through?
So I although I'm not a competitive legacy player, I am definitely a legacy player in the sense where I've always played Yoshi, but
Okay.
my characters have always been Yoshi, Heihachi, and then King slash Armor King. King or Armor King wasn't in Tekken 3, but Armor King was in Tag 1. He was also in Tekken 5 going forward, but in Tekken 4 and 3 he wasn't in there, so I played King instead.
Mm, okay. Okay, I see you. Um, so I believe in Tekken 6. Who was I playing in Tekken 6? Oh, I think I was actually playing Roger in Tekken 6 because I was like, yo, is that
Roger?
a fucking? I was like, is that a fucking kangaroo, bro? Like, you
Oh
play a
yeah.
kangaroo? No, I was like, that's hype. So I was playing Roger, and I was also like, so I was playing Elisa because I seen she had chainsaws, and I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. I didn't know like
Hmm.
Tekken has such weird ass like unique characters. and so that's who I was rocking in Tekken 6. Tekken 7, I was playing Gigas, of course, a little bit of Elisa, and I thought Geese Howard was like really, really cool. I didn't even know he was from another game at the time.
Mm.
I just thought like he seemed cool. So I was also playing a little bit of Geese, but my Geese was he was kind of ass. He was kind of ass. I ain't gonna
Well,
lie.
funny thing about you saying that you played Gigas. Gigas was actually the first character I took to a tournament. It wasn't Yoshi. I took Gigas to a tournament first.
Really?
Yeah, because Gigas was incredibly easy to play, but he also did such high damage that if people weren't he had a low pick rate and high damage, so I was really able to like cheese bracket early. Now, obviously, with the tournament, there's going to be sweats and people that are actually there to play. So I didn't win, but like I got relatively far. I got
You
to
got
like
yours.
yeah, I got to like 32 ish area. I don't remember. It was at a PAX tournament, but
Really?
one of their
Okay.
almost pro series, and yeah, and I went in there with Gigas and was just literally like you said, pop them up in the air and throw. It did so much damage, and then when I
Man.
was in Heat, Lydia actually has it now. In well, not Heat, but Rage in seven.
Yeah, the
But
Rage Drive.
Lydia, yeah, exactly. His Rage Drive mix is essentially what Lydia can do now in Heat in Tekken 8. The mix up between a safe mid and an unblockable high, Gigas had that first.
Wow, that's actually kind of facts. Now that I think about it, I didn't even think about it like that.
Hmm.
Okay, that's dope. So I gotta ask. I assume you've been playing Tekken 8 for at least a decent amount of time now.
Hmm.
How you feeling about Tekken 8? Just like so far, the road so far from day one to now.
Honestly, it's a mixed bag. So to give you the before going in depth into it, straight up, I love this game. I mean, in its core of core, despite what social media and content might say otherwise, this is still Tekken. You know, so, as somebody who's been playing the series as long as I've been playing it, at its core gameplay, this is still the same Tekken. I could literally, especially if you're a legacy character like Yoshimitsu, I can go all the way back into Tekken 5 and still do the stuff that I can do now, I can do in the older games. That's what I mean by like this is still Tekken in its core of core. Maybe it's different from a competitive standpoint, but in terms of game, this is still the same game that I grew up and fell in love with originally. So I do love the game. It becomes a double-edged sword because end of Tekken 7, start of Tekken 8, myself and I'm sure a lot of other people, they were like, okay, Tekken 8, this is where I want to actually try and be a
Same.
competitor. And unfortunately, so many people were ready to make Tekken 8 that game for them, and then the Tekken devs were like, no, what if we made it completely different? And some people have been taking to it, and some people haven't. I have my feelings on it. Um, I won't go in depth into it at the moment, but yeah, I mean it's still a good game in its true form. It's just not it's not made for casuals, unfortunately, or not casuals, competitive, unfortunately. It just by design isn't.
I see. So honestly, and is that all you wanted to say about the specific point? I just wanted to let you get your idea across if you needed to. The rest of
In
it,
terms of how I feel about Tekken 8 as in its entirety, yeah, that's pretty much all I have for it. I love the game. I still think it's fun. I just don't think that it's it's meant to be competitive anymore.
Okay, I see. So I'm gonna lead to say that I also really, really fucking enjoy Tekken 8. I have almost 1,000 hours in this game. Like I really, really, really enjoy this game.
Hmm.
That being said, I feel like how do I want to word this? Tekken 8 feels like it almost feels like a 2D game. And if that
Yes.
doesn't make sense, like I just like in the sense that in a lot of 2D games, you got a lot of fucked up like random bullshit.
Hmm.
And well, not random, but like there's a lot of fucked up shit. And it's more fucked up than like say a more grounded-ish game like a Street Fighter or I guess originally how Tekken was according to people.
Hmm.
And so you get this crazy high power level game, and one of my first thoughts is like, okay, I'm playing Tekken. The big thing here is you're supposed to sidestep stuff, right? Like that's the 3D aspect, yada yada. And I play
Hmm.
Lisa, so I have like a great sidestep, like top three sidestep. Just like so, my character sidestep is good. So things I can sidestep like I should be able to. Sometimes even shit I shouldn't be able to. When
Hmm.
I tell you there's shit in this game, there's so much stuff that turns around or tracks you anyway, or even though they don't say it's homing, it tracks anyway. And so a
Hmm.
lot of this game is take the mix anyway,
Right.
with
Exactly.
less defensive options than a 2D game, because 2D games have a lot of defensive options to compensate for the fact that it's 2D. You got like bursts, maybe a push
DPs for
block
one.
system, DPs. You got all this stuff. In Tekken, you have like maybe sidestep and power crush,
Yeah. Power
and hold
Crush
that shit.
is our equivalent of DP, except not really.
Yeah, and hold that shit. That's what you got. So
Hmm.
Tekken to me really feels like a 2D game, and I don't hate that because I come from 2D games. I love 2D games. The only issue that I have is that it seems like I don't know. It seems like the community does not like their own game,
No.
and I'll let you go because I know it sounds like you want to say something about that, but it just feels like they don't like their own game, and it's been improving. Like I still think it's better than season one when Raw Heat Burst was killing. Like Raw Heat activation
Hmm.
used to kill you. I don't know if you guys remember that shit.
Yes, I
That was
do.
crazy.
Yes,
But
I do, for sure.
yeah. Anyway, you probably want to say something about Tekken community not liking their own game, and you can definitely go into that.
Yeah, so it's funny, right? So I've been playing Tekken for a very long time, as I said, and I got into the competitive esports sides of things like many with Tekken 7. And in doing that, I started watching and following one of the commentators by the name of Avoiding the Puddle,
Okay, I like
or
that guy.
Eris or whatever. He's a pretty popular Tekken commentator. He doesn't do it anymore. But one of the things that he said stuck with me and held true. Tekken fans are bitches, myself included. Um, and it's I want to be wrong, right? But the fact of the matter is it's just true. A lot of Tekken players and a lot of Tekken fans, they want the game to be the way that they want the game to be, in the sense of like, no, I want it the way that I want it, not the way that's actually balanced. I want my character to be good and everybody else's character to be bad. There is a lot of that, a lot of downplaying, and a lot of just straight up overall, like, I wouldn't say toxicity per se. They aren't. I wouldn't say that they're toxic, but they're just whiny. They're whiny and they feel like they are entitled to everything. And I feel like that's why the game, quote unquote, isn't balanced correctly, because the people who make the game are trying to listen to the fan feedback, and all they're doing is it's just mixed signals all the time. It's like that classic girlfriend thing of, it's like, well, what do you want to eat? It's like, well, I don't know. What do you want to eat? And it's like, bitch, I asked you first. Like, tell me what you want and I'll do it. And it's just a lot of that. And we have a really good game. We really do. There are aspects of it that I feel like
Are
Tekken has
questionable.
lost it. Right. it lost its soul in the sense of like, but it's not just Tekken. That's the thing that I feel like people are missing. It's not just Tekken. A lot of things are becoming easier and more homogenized. But that's all fighting games. A lot of modern fighting games are trying to make things easier so that more people can play. Because fighting games have been hard since they fucking started, you know?
This is true.
And, you know, fighting games are kind of one of the weaker genres in gaming, and that's because they're so fucking hard, you know? But that's the appeal of them. So I get why so many people are mad at things becoming easier and everything becoming samey. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad game, and it doesn't mean that it's not a balanced game. It's just one of those, you know, you've probably seen it on Twitter, the argument of like that syndrome thing, where it's like, well, if everybody's strong, then nobody is.
Mm-hmm.
And that is kind of the dilemma. So it's like, I get where the community is coming from, where their frustration lies. But at the same time, the people who are like, no, this is wrong, it shouldn't be this way, there's an entire giant group of people who are saying the exact opposite and are like, no, in fact, I don't want nerfs, I want more buffs, this game should be more aggressive. And it's like, what do you do as the game balancer when your community is like that? Because Street Fighter's not like that, you know. I Fighters isn't like that. You know, and I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge and the FGC that I've been following, Tekken seems to be the only like community where there are mixed reviews on how they want their game to be played.
Dude, I definitely agree with you in a lot of senses. And one thing I've definitely been seeing, like, since I started playing Tekken, is that this community, bro, is like, oh my god, they are such babies. It's very unfortunate, but they're very baby made because literally. Okay, so this is an example from today. A guy messages me. He's like, GG, and I'm like, yeah, bro, GG. And he's like, nah, bro. Actually, I lied. It wasn't GG. he's like, I lied. It wasn't GG. You were mashing and you were doing this. And he was like, are you Mexican? I was like, yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro? Not only was I not mashing, I watched you mash the whole first match. I didn't do shit but watch you mash the whole match to see what you would do.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where a lot of people I play, and win or loss, this is like probably one of the few fighting games I played where it feels like no one ever wants to say GG. Like it's very difficult to get a GG.
I mean, look at the prime thing that unfortunately, like Tekken 8, and I feel like this happened a lot in Tekken 8 because I never ran into this problem in Tekken 7, at least not in my experience. But like since Tekken 8 came out, the one and done community, like,
oh my god,
how many other fighting games do you play, Fish?
So like right now, I'll just go right now. Right now,
Well, just like in general, like,
a little bit of Dragon Ball Fighters. I was in Sparkin pretty heavy when it dropped. Under Night 2. I played some Grand Blue here and there. I just got into Multi Blood.
How many of those games do you experience people not finishing the set?
Dude, I would say the second worst game is Dragon Ball Fighters, but it's this game by a country mile. Like, it's not fucking close. It's not close.
Because I haven't like dove deep into a bunch of other fighting games, but I dabble in a lot. My other main fighting game is Street Fighter 6, and it was Mortal Kombat, but I'm not gonna get into that.
No, I loved MKX, but yeah, go ahead.
But I've never even experienced that. I've experienced maybe rage quitting more frequently in like Mortal Kombat and like Smash Bros and stuff, because I played a little bit of Smash too. But people finished the set, you know, and in Tekken 7 there was no like 2 out of 3. It was just endless, and so I would fight people for hours, you know, like. But now for some reason Tekken 8, I've said it before in other streams and during some of our Tekken Sundays, like I feel like this game by design just breeds anger, and I
And
feel like
like
that's why so many people are the way that they are.
to compound into that, like this is also one of the only games I've played where you maybe you lose against somebody two, three, four times, right? If
Hmm.
you win, this is one of the only games I've ever played fighting game wise where they will be like, "Oh no, he figured my shit out. I'm gone." There's no
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
rematch to try to readjust to now figure out how I adapted so we can both continue to advance. They're like,
Exactly.
"No, he figured me out, figured out my bullshit." And it's usually just the people who are like, I don't want to say rolling their fucking controller on their face, but that's what it feels like sometimes, you know?
No, it is. It is. It is for sure. Because you made it to the higher rank. You made it to God of Destruction, right?
I got there.
Right. So you've even been on the higher the highest I've made it so far is Tekken God. But like I've fought like tournament level players in God of Destruction and stuff, and you can see that even in the top rank, like
Dude.
people are still. I'm like, bro, I'm at
Dude.
God of Destruction. Why are you like that? Why are you
They
still
still
like? Are you serious?
it doesn't it just okay, it just seems like they get faster with it, right? Like they're faster.
Yeah, it's like
Like
they have a tab for it.
they'll be like they'll be like string, 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 sidestep, string, power crush at the end. Because they're like, oh, this is where someone would normally take the turn. And it's like, bro, you're weird. Like, what do you?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is all you
yeah.
do?
Yeah, I'm
I don't
fighting
know,
a
man.
Leo right now that's doing that exact thing. It's
Yeah.
is is bad. But
So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
how would you say you feel about just season three? Like if we were just to take only season three.
So if we were gonna look at season three in a vacuum, I think that the game got better. The movement feels faster. I can say with full confidence that the gameplay itself feels faster and more responsive. My backdash feels better. Um, I will say though that the new moves were unnecessary
Mm-hmm.
and they were kind of lazy because most of it was just reused animations. And while in a vacuum, I don't care like that. Like I don't care about reusing things that exists. I just think that it didn't bring any more depth to the cast as a whole. If anything,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just made the 50-50 problem like more potent, and that's the biggest problem with Tekken 8 is the 50-50 issue. Like the game itself, I feel like if you ignore the fact that everything's a 50-50, this game is great. But the problem isn't even that the game is a 50-50 casino. It's the lack of option select because the movement is so you're not rewarded for the movement, and it's because so many moves and attacks are tracking, or characters have so many of their options like covered now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's by design. Like if you've ever read the patch notes, you'll see like people the devs are like, oh well, the one I always go to is Hwoarang, where it's like, oh well, Hwoarang had an issue dealing with sidestep, so we gave him a homing low to cover that. And it's like, bro, Hwoarang is one of the most Hwoarang is one of the most oppressive rushdown characters ever, and that is a huge strength, and he's a fantastic knowledge check character. Why did you feel the need to patch out literally one of the only ways to beat him? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why did you do that? And their answer is because we wanted the game to be accessible. And it's like, that's not how you make the game more accessible. That's how you make the game mashy and brain dead.
Yeah. And I noticed that a lot because there's like, and okay, so first I'll go into I guess my feelings about season three before I even get there.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I too think season three is an improvement. Now
Mm-hmm.
I don't play like a whole bunch of characters. I only play like two, three characters. But I will say that specifically for my character, like specifically Elisa, I noticed that, and I feel like maybe they don't put everything in the patch notes because
No, they
it
definitely
feels like
don't.
a lot of my hitboxes have been like I don't want to say shadow nerfed, but there's definitely a lot of like shit in my arsenal that is now easily steppable that wasn't steppable before, or shit that's just like people can get around. And I'm noticing that they weren't getting around like last time.
Yep.
And I don't have an issue with that. I actually think it's very dope. I enjoy having extra counterplay to things because the issue that I've seen with a lot of Tekken is that there's not counterplay sometimes. Like sometimes
and the game's never been like that. The game's never been like that. The counterplay that you've always, I don't mean to cut you off, but the counterplay that you've always had is the movement and the sidestepping and stuff. Being able to create space and backdashing and, I mean, being able to create space and whiff punishment and essentially take your turn back through good movement has always been the soul and you know, what brought people into Tekken. And they took all of that out by making it literally just hold back and block and eat the mix-up. And it's like, that sucks. That sucks so much. Because that's not how you make a game aggressive. That's not how you make a game really aggressive.
And it also, so it promotes the style of play that we're complaining about. Like this mash, do this string into this. Like, don't try to like adapt it all. Like just do this shit. Because it works out. It works out for you. The game promotes it. And so a lot of the times I feel kind of sad because I realize like a lot of opponents are like, they're like, yeah, why would I stop doing this shit when it's what's good right now? Like, why would I want to play another way when this shit is working for me?
And I think that that's the saddest part is no matter what level you're at as a player, that's the conclusion. It's like, well, even if I want to experiment, even if I want to do something else, why would I stop doing this when this is clearly the best answer? Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're going to go with the most optimal strategy unless we actively don't care about winning. And most people that play fighting games are playing to win at the end of the day, casual or not. You know, I played it. I don't hop on Tekken to get beat up. I don't do that.
Yeah, and I feel like in this game people just don't give a fuck about what you do sometimes. Like, have you ever encountered somebody who just does the same shit every single time you hit them? And you're like, the third time, you're like, oh yeah, I've got this guy conditioned. Like, fuck no, he's not gonna do it again. I got him. And he's like, bro, I will keep doing this shit forever.
Oh yeah, dude. I play Yoshimitsu. I have Flash. I have the fastest move in the game. I have one of the best interrupt tools in the entire game. That I have the ability to punish things that aren't usually punishable. And yet people are like, no, I'm just gonna keep doing that. Actually, I don't care. And then I'm gonna cry on Twitter that Flash is broken, and get my shit nerfed.
It's like Flash is fucking godlike, but like Jesus, it gets to a point where you gotta bait it, right? Like you have to adapt.
That's the whole point, and it's the same thing with like the Hwoarang mix. It's like, is his pressure annoying? Yes, but you have to sidestep and duck. You have to put in a little bit of effort, and that's what they're trying to take out of the game is the effort, the learning part. It's like, don't worry, little Timmy. No, you don't have to learn. Just hit Power Crush. Just press heat.
Just press heat. Everything will be okay.
Yo, out of everything, dog, one of the things that actually consistently pisses me off in this game is Rage Art. So I don't know if you remember how Rage Art was in Tekken 7, but in Tekken 7, Rage Art was unique for every character. Everybody had a unique command, so that felt good. Yeah, that felt good by itself. Like, it was like, okay, everybody has, like, you gotta know your character's specific super. It's like knowing how to do an actual level 1 in Street Fighter. But then all the moves had different properties. Some were highs that you could duck. Some were lows that you could actually, like, block and shit. Like, they weren't just this mid-wall of hitbox that you couldn't stop. And for Yoshimitsu specifically, because the armor frames were the way that they were, I could actually spin the Rage Art and get like 4 or 5 hits in, and then spin out of the way and make their rage art whiff. And
Wow.
that was so much fun to do, and now you just can't. All of that fun's gone. That unique, thing that players had access to. Not just Yoshi, any character with like good, fast, multi-hit strings could do it, but like nobody can do that now. Now you just have to get hit and watch the $70 cutscene.
That's something like I have similar. So when I go into like my DES, my destructive mode with the chainsaws, I have enhanced movement basically, right? Like I have like a bigger sidestep and shit. Something that has happened very consistently until, well, at least semi-consistently, I'd say about 70% success rate until this season, is if I know someone's gonna sidestep, I can dash out of the way of that shit and not get hit.
Yep.
This season is when I noticed I'll dash out of the way, they'll turn around. Their rage art will turn around and hit me.
They will follow you, yep. There are multiple videos of the character actively trying to like laser hunt you down. It's crazy.
But honestly, like we were saying, I enjoy Tekken. I think Tekken is a really fun game. And even though it does have its definite flaws, I don't think it's what everybody is complaining about.
No, it's not. And I think the thing is like, it's in a state that could be better, but it's not this whole Tekken is dead thing that people like to say.
Yeah, I've literally been seeing that everywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, to be completely fair. And I get that. I will give veterans this. This is not the same Tekken as, Tekken 5. It's not even the same Tekken as like Tekken 7, Like, this is not the same game. It's not. But it's not dead. You just have to get used to the new shit. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you got to adapt with the times, But I'm also not going to sit here and be like, yes, I love eating 50-50 mixes by characters that have infinite plus frames. I love that. Like, no, that's not good either. But when the devs make a portal or say, hey, on Twitter, can you guys tell us what you would like to see out of the game? Can you show us these bugs and these issues so that we can balance it accordingly? And then people get online and say, well, buff my character. It's like, okay, well, now everybody's buffed. And then it's like, well, why is everybody buffed? And it's like, dude, what do you... I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
I get it. I really get it. Because so what I was expecting this season is nerfs, honestly. I wasn't expecting like buffs for everybody. And they were like, what if we buff you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, if I had to say like super minimum expectations, I was borderline at least expecting for the tracking of strings to be heavily reduced. That was my biggest and quite frankly only want, was that, because I know people want to get rid of heat. One, that's stupid. You can't take that out. You can't take out an entire mechanic. That's like taking drive out of Street Fighter 6. That's literally the whole point of the game. Stop it. If you don't want to play heat, play one of the other Tekkens.
One of the other Tekkens.
But in terms of like reducing 50-50s, again, you can reduce the 50-50s by giving characters more options to like sidestep or block strings, like make stuff less plus on hit or on block. That's the only way you can do it, though. You can't undo everybody's new stances and shit. You can't. You'd have what people want. Like the big complaints, you're basically asking you want Tekken 9. Because you can't undo it. That's not how games work. You'd need a completely new game.
Honestly, something that I'm also like, I really don't like about Tekken right now is
Mhm.
this edition of the new moves, because why are we getting new moves?
Yeah.
Like, Tekken is a game that's known for like being like very complicated, because everybody has lots of moves. So
Right.
we're like damn, everybody has shit. You have to learn a lot of shit, different strings, hundreds of moves for characters. Why are
Mhm.
we adding new moves when characters have hundreds of moves? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Rather than tune or balance the character's existing move sets, they're like, no, let's continue to add shit. And I think that that's part of the problem with Tekken as a whole is like I don't think because and that's why I said earlier like I'm a legacy player. I'm a legacy player because I literally have grown and adapted with my character. Yoshimitsu from Tekken 3 is not the same as Yoshimitsu from Tekken 8, but Yoshimitsu from Tekken 8 is the same as Yoshimitsu from Tekken 3. You know what I mean? Like they've just added on top of him for 30 years, and that makes a pretty complex character. Yoshimitsu has the most moves in the entire fucking game, so I
That's
can
saying
only
something.
imagine, yeah, I can only imagine other characters that are simpler, like Kazuya or Claudio or Paul, and where their move lists are at currently, you know? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's something that I think they should stop doing immediately. We don't need new moves for characters with hundreds of moves.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
It is insane. And unfortunately, well, I mean, I don't think we're getting any more new moves, right? But like season 4 comes and then what? You know? Are we going to get more new moves again? Cuz they've been adding new moves since I think season 2 of Tekken 7 to every character, and you just don't need that.
Yeah, we
I
started the game with
get
new moves, right?
Yeah, we started the game. Everybody started the game with completely rebuilt characters. Everybody. That was the whole thing about Tekken 8 was like we're starting the series over. We've rebuilt everybody from the ground up, essentially. Like new animations, new attacks, all of that. And that was cool. That was really cool. But it's like we don't need to keep adding on to it. Like I get it. I get why they were doing it in Tekken 7 because that was hype. That was hype because nobody expected, not even them, expected Tekken 7 to last as long as it did. So they kept adding on to it because they wanted the game to feel fresh. Where Tekken 8 has been since release, y'all have been fighting just to keep people happy. So I don't think
Yeah.
adding shit and trying to make the game quote unquote fresh is the wave. I think you should just focus on refining what we have. Hence, back to basics. And I think that that's why so many people were fucking furious about this because they thought that
Like,
for
what's the
once,
basics? What's the
yeah,
basics?
we've been looking for the basics since the game dropped. What are the basics, bro?
I mean, obviously, it feels like the basics are activate heat,
Yeah.
thrive.
Round start heat win.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely hate round start heat people. Like, round start heat people are some of my worst enemies.
I only do that with Heihachi because I want my stacks.
I mean, it's like, damn. I Man, all right. You know what? I guess I get it sometimes. There are certain people who do round start heat every trip. Like, I played
I mean, it
whole
was
like sets against people, and they're like round start heat.
yeah. I mean, it was a meme at the start of the game. I watched a video of this dude named Arsenal T. And he plays Hwoarang and Jin, and he had a little meme clip where it was like how to win with Hwoarang. It says step one, press heat, like round start heat, and then step 2 mash, and then he won a whole he won 3 rounds in under a minute. Like he won the whole set in under a minute, and I'm like, that's disgusting. That's disgusting that worked, and that was season 1. That was this drop of the game. Like, ugh.
Yeah, that's kind of pride. I'm not gonna lie. I think that there are certain. I just think there are certain people who play the game for different reasons. Like some people actually play. Like when I'm playing Tekken, I'm playing to play it like I play other fighting games. Like I want to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like some people just play it to be offense simulator, and that's cool
yeah, for sure.
Because I always say this: I didn't pay as much money to block.
No, and I feel that for sure. But like, I don't know. Like, I've made a few videos for Tekken 8. I do a Road to God of Destruction series, and I vividly remember multiple times saying like, if you're gonna hop on this game, and it was because I got upset with the one and dones, right? But I'm like, if you're gonna hop on this game and just not run the full set, then go do something else, bro. You're wasting everybody's time, including your own, you know? And it's not just that, but it's like, how are you gonna get on social media or have this outrage of there's no balance and this game is too aggressive and blah blah blah, but then you get on the game and you play in a manner as if you don't want to learn? Because that's what one and dunning says to me. Like, win or lose, you don't want to learn. If you only fight once and then bounce, you don't want to learn. That's all I'm getting out of it.
I think I kind of agree with that because it's just kind of like, oh, this lag is crazy. It's kind of like if you just like, it's like I was saying earlier, if you just play to fucking like to do your bullshit, and then as soon as somebody figures you out, you leave, bro. Like you're not real. Like you like you're
but
fake,
even
bro.
if you're gonna do that, like if you're gonna play that way, why are you on ranked? You know, go on quick match. Well, and I've said that too. I've said that I'm like, it's clear that people like, I get it. Nobody wants to lose. Losing isn't like fun. But it's like people are just here for points. They're not here to play Tekken. Nobody's here to actually play Tekken, and I think that is the biggest problem. Is like there's this call for like balance and like I want to play real Tekken, and I'm like, nobody that is on ranked right now that is playing online fighting games want to play real Tekken. They want to play for points, they want to win, and they want to get off and I don't know, jerk off to their favorite waifu. Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, right, that's the type of energy these people give me, bro.
My final question to you would be, I guess it's a 2-part question. What is your favorite Tekken game?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Tag 2.
Okay.
Which is usually deemed one of the worst Tekken games. In fact, it is, by the community, competitively, it is considered the worst Tekken game, and literally, it is the worst Tekken game sales-wise. But it is my favorite Tekken because when it came out, by design, I remember holding the case and reading the back of it, and the back of it said, "We are Tekken," and the entirety of the game was essentially, you know what Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is? How it's like everyone is here, and it's like...
I was playing Smash 4.
Exactly. So Tekken Tag 2 is basically Tekken's Smash Ultimate. Every character that's ever been in Tekken was in that game. And it had all of the cool modes in it. I believe it had bowling. It had this mode called Combat, and Combat was essentially like a created character. It had the best customization to date. It was just the ultimate Tekken fan service game. Was it good competitively? Probably not.
Learning it sounds dope, to fight. I can't lie.
Right. but it even had like team throw animations. Like one of my favorite team throw animations I remember, there were two of them. One was where you're playing Yoshi and Brian, and Brian starts beating up the guy. Either Yoshi goes up and does the seppuku and stabs himself and Brian in the throw animation, or Brian's beating him up and he stabs both of them, which is like, Brian killed Yoshimitsu's clan. There's lore in that one little animation.
Right.
And then another really cool one is Dragunov and Brian, who are probably two of the most brutal characters. And Dragunov's little 1+2 throw, where he punches you in the face and then double fist slams you to the ground. He does that, and then Brian shows up, and then he finishes the three-piece combo. It's like just this ultimate brutal, like, fuck you grab. And like, that's just amazing. Like, how frequently do you see fighting games pour that much love and attention to detail into it, So yeah, I would say Tekken Tag 2 is my favorite.
Okay. Honestly, now I've only played really, really 2 Tekken games. So even though I hate to say it, I guess fucking Tekken 8 would be my favorite fucking Tekken game, because it's really fun, sometimes even when it's not. But like you kind of said earlier, it's really anger inducing.
Well, here's the thing. Sorry.
Hold on,
go ahead.
it's okay.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's really anger inducing, and sometimes you just run into some shit and you're like, bro, what's going on here? But it's the game that I've played like the most in terms of Tekken games, and it's just the game I found the most enjoyable between this and 7. And I'm sure if I played 7 more, maybe I'd feel different, but that's just how I feel.
No, and that's valid for sure. Because Tekken 8's in my top 5. I'm not even gonna lie.
I guess my next question would be, do you have a character you want to see in Tekken 8?
That is a good question. Because I have all my mains now, If you had asked me at the start, I would have said Heihachi or Armor King, but I got them both. You know what though? I do have an answer though. I would say, honestly, I would either want Unknown, who is this demonic version of Jun Kazama, simply because Jun is back in the game, and I feel like lore-wise, I would like as a Tekken nerd, as a Tekken fanboy nerd, I would like some lore answers to what Unknown is. Because she's only ever in the tag games. So I don't know if she's just simply this non-canon entity, but I don't know. The fact that June has these like black crows in all of her attacks, I'm not buying that she's, I'm not buying it. There's got to be something to Unknown. But if I had to say like a more realistic character, I mean, we need Lei. Lei and Julia, because
Lei was
Lei
so
or Julia.
fun, man.
Lei because he's fun, the Drunken Fist and animal fighting styles is iconic, or Julia because then that would finish the original Tekken cast of the 10.
Really?
There was Michelle technically, but she's the only one missing.
So wait, who's the original 10?
The original 10, if I am remembering correctly, which I'm pretty sure I am, is Yoshimitsu, Jack, Nina, Julia, Kuma, King.
Okay.
So we're just missing Julia. And I feel like with them being all, this is Tekken's 30th anniversary, we had to bring Heihachi back. Well, if this is Tekken's 30th anniversary, can we get the original 10, please? Can we get the original 10? Out of respect?
Just out of respect. Well, Honestly, if I would have said this earlier, I would have said like Roger or something.
Hmm.
So honestly, the only character I really want to come back, man, is fucking Gigas, bro. And I know they gave a
Yeah.
lot of his moves to Jack. Like they gave a lot of his
Yeah, they
moves to Jack.
scrapped Gigas. I actually felt bad when I saw that they basically reduced Gigas to Jack's new stance. I actually legitimately felt bad because I played a little bit of Gigas.
But yeah, I guess that's who I would want back.
I mean, shit, man. I feel like he could do something. You know what the problem is with this conversation though of like who would you want back? It's like, yeah, I would want them back, but I'm also thinking of them from the last time I played them. I'm not thinking about the Tekken 8 version of them.
With Heat and probably
Yeah.
Giga buffed in like a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Yo,
like
Gigas with a real throw game would be fucking disgusting. That shit would be fucking mad gross.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I would
telling
love
me.
it, but
That's like when people are saying, "Bro, I want Marduk back in the game." No, you don't. You don't.
You know?
You think you do, but I think you forget about what Marduk was in Tekken 7.
Yeah, that man was on some different shit, man. But I appreciate you for coming out and talking to me for a little bit, man. This was a very dope collab, very dope
Oh, of
conversation.
course. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, it is no problem at all. And I'm gonna end the stream with until next time. Maybe I'll pop out for another Tekken Sunday.